And then batch 7 was like a little worse than that.
Oh no, like we're going downhill here.
I was worried. I'm not gonna lie. But batch 8, he totally redeemed himself.
Hey, welcome to Super Social Club. I'm Jeremy.
This is Whiskey Rant 6, I'm Rob.
Welcome to the Whisky Rant Podcast.
It's a little crusty.
It's frustrating.
And it's gonna be a little bit of a rant.
I don't understand it. I don't know why.
Some sort of injustice.
Anyway, end rant.
Hello and welcome back to the Whisky Rant Podcast. I'm Jeremy.
I'm Rob.
And tonight we are reviewing the newest edition, I guess second newest edition of the Glenallachie 10-year-old Cask Strength Batch number 8. I say second newest because Batch 9 just got released in probably the UK market. It was the newest release. Batch 9 was bottled in March, just a couple months ago. So it will be a while before we get it, but we just got this one.
Yeah.
We're a batch behind, but for most people, this is the one you'll see on the shelves currently.
And what's interesting is we have the first batch.
Yes.
Side by side with it.
Batch 1.
So we were lucky enough to get this from our boy James.
James has always given us the best stuff, yes.
Yeah, who represents Glenallachie. And yeah, so we're gonna be doing batch 1 side by side. This is the first time I've tasted batch 1.
Yeah, never had batch 1. Never, obviously, we didn't get into these Glenallachie 10s until batch 3.
Batch 3.
We have had batch 2 before.
We have had batch 2.
It was solid.
A friend in the street had a bottle.
Yes.
We were lucky enough to sample.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, never had batch 1. I own it. I just always afraid to open it because
it's a collector's piece.
It's a collector's piece, and I don't know. Visually, it doesn't look like it's going to be as good. Watch it be the best batch.
Yeah. So batch 8, standard maturation as far as what these Glenallachie 10s are right now, which is PX, Oloroso, Virgin Oak, and the Rioja,
yeah.
Wine cask.
Spanish wine.
The batch 1, no wine cask, just the
PX.
The Oloroso, PX, and Virgin Oak.
Right, Oloroso, PX, Virgin. I'm assuming it started in bourbon casks, but they don't say that.
Yeah, that's a good point, right?
So
it's all finished stuff.
Yeah, because when Glenallachie first got bought out by Billy Walker and Co., he re-racked everything.
Sure.
So this is probably the batch of 10-year-old stuff that may have spent a year in the new Oloroso and PX / Virgin Oak casks. The rest, knowing the way Billy Walker kind of does things, he probably grabbed a whole bunch of stuff that's almost 10 years old or going to be 10 years old or whatever.
Yep.
Re-racked it, threw it all in one spot and says, this is where our 10-year-old stuff is going to be. This is what we're going to be pulling from.
Yeah.
And year 1, when they pulled this 10-year-old, it obviously didn't do much because it's super, super pale, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and we've said it before, re-racking stuff, finishing all their stock, usually that'll throw up a huge red flag, but obviously Billy Walker, one of the most trusted, experienced people in the industry. If anyone's going to do it right, he's going to do it right. Glenallachie invested, 100 million pounds into their sherry cask program, so...
Listen, I mean, everybody can say what they want about whatever Glenallachie was before Billy Walker bought it. But Billy Walker knows exactly what he's doing. He didn't buy Glenallachie by accident.
Yeah.
It wasn't just the only distillery that was available that he snatched up. He tasted their whiskey, their storage, and was like, yeah, I can do something with this. This has a good base.
Yeah.
Right?
He's no fool. Let's start with the Glenallachie 10-year-old batch 8 because that's the one that people might be more interested in hearing about. So like we said, it is the 4 cask maturation like you'd see in the previous 10s. I'll say right off the bat, this beats out the previous batch for me.
Yeah, so
by a significant margin.
Yeah.
We're back. We're back to really good Glenallachie 10 here.
This might beat out a lot of them. When I first sipped this, I wasn't expecting it to be this good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it a quick little sip here.
And before, on this channel, we have reviewed blind tasted batches 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I ranked them personally as my favorite is batch 3.
Yeah.
Then batch 4, then batch 5, then batch 6. Went in order of most favorite with the oldest and least favorite with the newest. This is slotting in somewhere in those earlier batches for me.
Yeah, this slots somewhere between 3 and 5. I think so.
Yeah, I think one of our main takeaways with batch 7 is there was so much wine cask influence that it was pushing out some other flavors. it was just too much of that one type of cask, and we weren't feeling it.
Yeah, batch 8, right back to that milk chocolatey goodness. You still get that Glenallachie characteristic, which is great. And I think this is a cool little experiment here because this is what Glenallachie used to taste like.
This is what we started with.
Right?
Yeah.
This is like very little influenced by Billy Walker and company to what we have here. And I actually really like the batch one. Have you sipped that yet?
I have not. No, I'm going to really focus my attention on this, and we'll give you some notes and we'll score it, and then we'll go to the batch 1. But this is like a pure Drake song. Let's just start from the bottom. Now we're here.
Yeah.
A really huge kind of like 180, I'm sure, from where they started and where they're at.
Yeah, so at the LCBO you can buy this. It's on the shelf for once.
This is a huge thing.
Yeah.
That the LCBO in Ontario is actually carrying this bottle on the shelf, and it's not an outrageous price. It's pretty reasonable considering.
It's $130.
$130. So only about $25 more than you'd find it in other markets.
Which, when you factor in shipping and tax and whatever
It's
else,
about the same.
You're not that far off.
About the same.
Like you're exactly. Yeah.
So good for the LCBO. Let's give them a point.
Yeah.
And the old tickaroo.
Yeah. So now they're minus 1,450,000.
That's right. Yeah. But they did. Oh, let's trash the LCBO for a second. Let's go a little tangent.
Oh, okay.
Because they messed up a rollout of some gold spot. Oh, blue spot, gold spot.
Yeah, I bought a blue spot.
Yeah. So let's talk about the gold spot first, because these are two completely freaking different situations, but they botched them both.
Yeah.
Right, so Gold Spot, it comes out, obviously a super limited, super popular. It's a cask strength Irish whiskey that lots of people have their eyeballs on. And it didn't go into a lottery, it didn't go online. It went to the stores, only in the GTA, of course, because that's how they do it.
Yeah.
And it was a freaking complete shit show. I'm sure I was out of the country, so I was like, glad that I don't have to run around to multiple stores trying to find this thing.
Yeah. They ended up putting it, like, a small amount online. They did.
They realized their mistake, I'm sure, really quickly.
Yeah, but it was already too late by then.
Sure.
But I mean, let's talk about the price of that gold spot for a second. $180 for a 7-year-old or 9-year-old whiskey.
9-year-old. It is cask strength, or it's just a higher ABV?
It's cask
It's
strength.
51.4.
And there could be older whiskey in there. We don't know.
Yeah.
That's what they did with the blue spot.
Uh-huh.
But really, like, that's a lot of money.
Yeah, 180, and that, as far as like other markets are concerned, this is the highest price you'll probably see for that whiskey. 180 Canadian?
I think so.
Right?
I think so. I don't think, I mean, maybe some companies or stores that have the flexibility to increase the price to whatever they want are probably trying to get secondary prices on it.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as, what it is retail, that's high.
Yeah. So that came out a couple months ago, and then most recently, the Blue Spot came out, which is the newest edition. Tell me your story about what happened.
Yeah, so there was about 240 left online when I bought it. And then, like, I guess you had mentioned that people were getting emails that day saying, sorry you didn't get your allocation, better luck next time.
No, it wasn't like an allocation. It was like you went online, you made a purchase.
Yeah.
It was a one per customer. You
That's right.
purchased it. It went through. You were charged on your credit card.
And then they email people saying,
And then they emailed you back being like, sorry, stock was full. Like, we're refunding your money. You don't get the bottle.
Right. That's exactly what happened to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, but 2 weeks later.
2 weeks later, you just get an email out of the blue being like, guess what? There's no more of this.
Now, part of me plays conspiracy theorist here a little bit and wonders, they see the email Whiskey in the Six and they're like, no, not you.
Someone in the ties after like, it's
Not
just
that
searching through like who ordered who. Oh yeah, Rob ordered one.
Yeah.
Cancel that immediately.
Yeah, like I have a couple people that I know in the LCBO that would love to just cancel my order. You know what I mean? So that's probably what actually happened.
But that's not. Let's compare it to. Like, this has happened before. This has happened before to many, many people who have gone online, made a purchase with the LCBO, with the inventory numbers being very much in stock, and then getting an email notification later being like, your order has been canceled due to stock issues. It's out of control how they can't run this properly.
There's such a shit show.
They make billions of dollars a year, and they're worse than SipperSocialClub.com. Because like at least my inventory, I can set a number, and when that number is exceeded, it says sold out and you can't buy it anymore.
There you go.
Yeah, I don't understand how they run this thing.
That's really bad. What's laughable is that the people running the show, the top 50 people that run the show of the LCBO, are all making over $250,000 a year.
Yeah.
We've talked about
and
this
they're botching
before.
everything.
Like it's
disgusting.
Like get your best people in the room and figure this shit out.
Yeah.
Because like it's Mickey Mouse. Like it literally is, hey, we got in 500 bottles of this.
Yeah.
How are we gonna sell it? Let's sell it online. Okay, great. Set the limit so that you can't exceed 500 bottles.
I don't understand how that's so hard to do.
What is the problem here?
How that's so hard to do.
It can't be that hard to do.
It's so
Well,
crazy.
you just said your own website says sold out when the or do you have to manually go in and do that?
No. It does it by itself.
So that, like,
if I have like 50 glasses left and there's 49 have been ordered and one person orders one more, and then it's like it's gone and
Sold
it
out.
won't let you order it.
there you go. So there's no excuse for this.
Like-
the only thing that's actually probably happening is
It's in your cart. It's like a whole bunch in the cart, and then they go through in the process, and then like that much. But like, it can't be that, because like I've heard this happening many times before.
Yeah.
It always happens. It always happens.
no. What I was gonna say is they expected to do like a tasting or something of that sort, and like, oh wait, we need 50 of these
And
bottles.
that's it. And that's what we've talked about before. How
Yeah.
they're just like, oh crap.
Yeah.
We need to hold back a whole bunch of this
Yeah.
stuff.
Wait, we promised.
Because someone from upstairs just
Yeah.
called us and be like, oh, I didn't know that was going out today. I need 6 cases.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, okay, the last 36 orders are canceled.
Right.
Right?
Which, like I said, I had purchased mine when there was 240 left online.
Yeah.
So how mine was picked
Crazy.
to be canceled
Yeah.
makes no sense.
And it's insane.
It makes no sense.
It's insane. The LCBO is just, it's so frustrating because we pay so much money and they just can't run it properly.
Yeah, it's a joke.
It's out of control. And that's the problem with having a monopoly in a state-run, province-run liquor store, is they can do whatever they want with no repercussion.
Okay, so back to this whiskey for a
Oh,
second.
that's right. We're reviewing Glenallachie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bravo,
Maybe,
bravo
yeah.
on this release.
Maybe because it's Easter weekend, but I'm getting a ton of like milk chocolate on this. Like it's like mini eggs in a glass.
This is chocolate milk, like
Yeah.
rich chocolate milk.
Are Cadbury mini eggs like globally sold, or is that just a Canadian
Yeah,
thing?
so I recently did like Easter whiskeys, and I just picked like some sweet whiskeys.
Yeah, I
'Cause
saw
I'm like,
that, yeah.
let's go sweetness, because like Easter candy, whatever. And I was like, is Cadbury just like a Canadian thing? And no, obviously it's UK. Cadbury is like a UK
Oh,
brand.
it's
Yeah,
a
of
UK
course.
brand. Okay.
But I don't think that the US gets a lot of their product. They might get some of it, but they don't get all of it. They don't get the mini eggs. I'm pretty
wow.
sure they don't. I don't think they get Kinder Surprise.
So we get the best stuff.
Arguably,
Well,
Yes.
Cadbury mini eggs are the best mini egg there is. Like
Cadbury
there's not-
mini eggs are fucking crack. They're
yeah,
so good.
There's no like chocolate egg that's better than the Cadbury mini egg. Like people argue, oh, the Hershey's is better. No, you're
Absolutely
wrong.
not.
You're wrong.
Absolutely
This is not a matter of opinion.
No, no, no,
There's a fact that
Yeah.
No, it's
And like to our American listeners, like I don't think that you guys get the Cadbury mini eggs
No.
in the US, unfortunately. I don't know if there's an American equivalent, and if you know, let us know down below.
I'm sure there is, because there's all those like no name brand versions of like the mini egg.
I'm sure
and-
someone's tried to replicate it.
Yeah.
They're so good.
but it's not like replicatable.
It's highly, if you don't know, it's like, it's very good quality chocolate wrapped in a candy shell.
Yeah.
But they do it, it's like, that's an M&M. Like, no.
No.
This is like way better.
There's something special about the chocolate, like the flavor of that
I
chocolate.
agree, and you get hit with this sweetness that just like complements it super well.
Yeah.
They do something magical with those.
Yeah, something different's happening, and maybe it's like a hit of like extra vanilla, or I don't know what.
Yeah.
It's something crazy.
Someone from the UK, like probably some British person, was like, actually Cadbury is like a very British company. I'm like, of course it is. Cadbury sounds very British.
Yeah, that
and
makes
I'm
sense.
sure it originated there because
Yeah.
they do sweets great.
Yeah,
over there, right?
absolutely.
Charlie and Chocolate Factory was not based in America or
True.
Canada, right?
What, are they Cadbury? No.
No, but it was like, that's UK.
I want an Oompa Loompa now! Can it, you nit!
Yeah.
Right?
True. Yeah. How much did you crave chocolate when you watched that movie for the first time when you were a kid? Or read the book?
Yeah, the original, like the old school Charlie and the Chocolate Factory movie was like a staple in your childhood, right?
I read the book in elementary school.
The book apparently is kind of crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like it's more hardcore.
It's a little darker.
It's like people get chopped up and grinded up and
But no,
die.
you don't.
They die more
You don't
serious
go into
deaths.
that detail, but yeah, it's like you just lose people forever.
Mr. Wonka, they won't really be burned in the furnace, will they?
Well, I think that furnace is lit only every other day. So they have a good sporting chance, haven't they?
Right. Before Johnny Depp, completely botched it, the old school one was a great movie. Absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, the Glenallachie. So yeah, you're right. Like the chocolate notes in here are amazing.
Mini eggs.
I'm not getting overwhelmed by the Rioja casks.
No.
They're very much balanced this one.
This is one of the most balanced of the batches
I agree.
so far. And I kind of brought this up in that last review that I did with the Whiskey Sponge Glenlivet. Like, that's a $300 bottle, 14 years old. Okay, yeah, it's a single cask, but I'm buying this all day over that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not spending $300 when I can spend $130 and get this quality. Why would I waste my money?
Yep.
You know what I mean? So that's fantastic.
I think like bravo to Billy Walker and Glenallachie for doing this, because like we were on a slippery slope here. Because like batch 7, we were like, oh dear, batch 7 like is.
Batch 6 was just okay. Like it was like like an 85-ish, 86, and then batch 7 was like a little worse than that.
Oh no, like we're going downhill here.
I was worried. I'm not gonna lie. But batch 8, he totally redeemed himself. Can we get one of those?
Yeah, I'll put it in here.
Just when I think you couldn't possibly be any dumber, you go and do something like this. And totally redeem yourself!
Because, yeah, like if you look at the production numbers, like how many they were releasing, like, right, the numbers of releases, like, like 12,000, 15,000, 20,000, and now we're up to like 75,000 bottles being released. It's like, okay, well, you're really pushing the envelope here with these releases. We don't know how much this is, numbers-wise.
Numbers-wise, I would say
many.
it's creeping up to like the 80,000.
I would say it's going to be more than batch 7 was.
Which was what?
Because the LCBO has this.
Yeah.
And they don't buy stuff that it's just, they only get a couple of cases if they want to buy a lot.
Yeah,
so.
the LCBO probably got 2,000 of these bottles, right? So if they got 2,000, and they probably got them at a good price, right? I don't know.
This batch 1 is really good.
How good is that?
Really, really
How
good.
shocked. I mean, this is what I'm saying about Glenallachie. Like, people are like, well, it's Glenallachie. It's probably not very good. And we're talking about... this was a comment that I was like... Now, I've learned to just not respond. When it's something that I wrote, like, the raging Rob wants to come out, I don't respond.
Yeah.
But it was like... Wait, we're talking about Glenallachie, the one that Billy Walker bought that he had to re-rack everything because it was terrible quality whiskey. I'm like, buddy, if that was true, he wouldn't have bought it.
Yeah.
Like, there's how many distilleries in Scotland that are mothballed right now?
Sure. Yeah.
Why the hell would he buy a distillery that sucked? The base of Glenallachie is excellent, in my opinion. And that's why it's making these ridiculously good whiskeys, because like this is Oloroso and PX and Virgin Oak. How long do you think? 6 months?
There's older whiskey in this. I guarantee you there's older whiskey than 10 in here. There's 15 and maybe even like 18-year-old whiskey in this. It's completely different than this batch 8. Oh, so much different.
Yeah, but what remains consistent in Glenallachie is this mineral, like almost like a powdery chocolate finish on everything.
Yeah.
It's the staple on all Glenallachie.
Yeah.
And it's there, it's present in everything. It's like imagine like crushing, like cleaning 2 rocks and then crushing cocoa with it.
Right.
That's kind of like the sensation that I'm getting. You know,
get
what I mean?
a little bit of rock in there. Yeah, that's a
and
good rate estimation. Yeah,
like delicious. This batch 1 is. If I would have bought batch 1, I would have been very happy with it.
absolutely.
Very
this
happy
is
with
great. I love batch 1.
Yeah, and I think you're right. I think there has to be older whiskey in this because
100%.
Because it didn't spend enough
If this
time with the other
tastes
stuff.
this tastes way older than the batch 8.
You're right.
And every other batch as well. Like I'm saying, this is 15-year-old whiskey in here for sure. Maybe 18-year-old.
So that's batch 1 right there, right? So it's 57.1% ABV. How does that drink to you? That drink's like 50.
It drinks 48. I was gonna say it drinks 48.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's delicious.
But like, think about it. Look how light and characteristic this is, right?
Yeah.
Are we dealing with like refill PX, refill Oloroso casks?
Maybe.
Are those older?
Maybe the base stuff in this was refill casks.
Yeah, 100%.
But like multiple use.
100%. Yeah.
Right?
Like
Because look how light it is.
Yeah, maybe even multiple fill casks.
Yeah.
That are older.
Like 4 or 5 times. Because
100%.
in order to get that, you can only either get that in like a twice used bourbon barrel, or like a 5 times used sherry cask.
Yeah.
You know what
I mean, we've seen second fill sherry casks that are darker than first fills.
Yeah, darker than this batch 8 right here.
Yeah.
Right. So it's really good.
Mm-hmm.
It's really good. Mm-hmm. It's a different whiskey, of course. Like it's completely different than it is now.
Yeah. Yeah, and then going back to this 8 now, I mean, so much different on the nose. Even like this nose now, I'm getting like a little bit of that really nice matchstick. Mm-hmm. I'm getting a little bit of like this, like
it's funny you said that because
barrel charred matchstick kind of note to it.
As soon as I brought it to my nose after taking a bunch of sips out of that, I got that barrel char that I didn't get before.
Yeah, that barrel char maybe coming from the virgin oak.
Yeah,
they're recharring the cask. Either way, you're getting this like this barrel char note.
Yeah,
and that's one that makes it so nice.
Yeah.
I'm so happy, honestly. Like I was so happy with this when we first opened this Glenallachie. We tried it here. I'm like, okay,
yes,
better than 7, yeah, right?
Yeah.
Because like if this was gonna be worse than 7, it almost like kills it.
Yeah.
Like it kills the line.
It does.
Like, am I gonna buy batch 8 now? Like
Yeah.
it's continuously going. Like I don't know.
Well, even I wasn't in love with 6, and then when we had 7, I'm like, that's worse than 6.
Yeah.
So then. Remember, like, I bought a bottle of the 8, and I'm like, I'm just going to stash it.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if I want to drink a bottle. Mm-hmm. And then ever since we opened that night, your bottle, I've been looking to buy another bottle because it's good. Yeah. It's really good.
Yeah, it is really good. Where is this fitting in for you? What's the score for the batch 8?
So it's hard because when we did that blind, I expected to pick batch 3 as my number 1. Mm-hmm. I expected to pick batch 5 as my number 2, 4 as my number 3, and so on and so forth. I picked batch 5 as my number 1, I think.
Yeah.
Did I not?
Yep.
And then 3 was 2, 4 was 3, and then 6 and 7.
Yep.
This could, like I said, it's hard to do without doing it blind, but I think this could easily be just after 3 for me. So like 5, 3, 8, 4.
Yeah. And I think like for me, I did 3, 4, 5 blind before, and I picked 4 twice, but they're all very, very close.
Yeah.
I think for us, we agree that 3, 4, 5 are very, very good.
Absolutely.
And then 6, 7 are outliers.
Yep.
Especially 7.
Yep.
But this batch 8 is going to fit in that category with a 3, 4, 5.
Yeah.
Right? It's going to be around there.
Yeah, and I enjoyed, like you said, I really enjoyed 3, 4, and 5. Mm-hmm. But this one could leapfrog one of those.
Yeah.
It's very possible if we did another blind.
We'd have to do them side by side to really get a good judge of it, because it's been a while since we tried those ones.
Yeah.
But I agree. This is the best. This is going to be in the mix of like the best batches for Glenallachie 10. It's definitely better than 6. It's definitely better than 7.
Imagine there's like 20-year-old whiskey in this.
That's what I'm saying. For batch 1, I would not be surprised if there's a decent amount of casks in here that are 18 years old. I guarantee you there's 15-year-old casks in here.
Are they gonna get to see they'll get to see the 18-year-old shootout that we did after this video, probably. Because this is not gonna be very much editing or whatever else.
Coming out after this, we do an 18-year-old shootout. 10 18-year-old Scotch whiskeys.
Right.
Semi-blind.
Semi-blind. And we're not going to reveal what happened, but there's a big shocker in that one.
There's a big shock in that.
I was surprised.
Me too.
I was very, very surprised. I did not call what was going to happen.
Yeah.
What are you going to score? Are we going to score both of these?
Yeah. Let's do it. Let's throw out some numbers. Even though this is like our, only our second go around with the batch 8, our first go around with the batch 1. But yeah, let's throw out some early numbers for these.
Okay.
I'll go first. Batch 8. 88 out of 100. 88 is where I would tell you to go out and buy this without even trying it. I'm that confident that that you'll like it, especially if you like the Glenallachie 10 range. If you were a 3, 4, 5 fan, Batch 8 fits right into that category. And if you tried 7 and it was the only one you ever tried, and you're like, I don't know, I would definitely go Batch 8. 100%.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I'm 88 as well. I was thinking 88. I'm gonna stick with that as well. It's funny, after you take a sip of the 1 and go back to the batch 8, that's when you get the barrel char.
Yeah.
That's when you get that that virgin oak influence. But it's not until you do that, right?
Yeah.
So weird.
Yeah.
This is a cool experiment. This is really, really cool. I if you guys have a batch 1, I highly recommend you drink these side by side. Yeah, I'm gonna go 88 as well.
Yeah, and batch 1 for me, like, it has this like velvetyness. It's like the viscosity just seems like it hits your palate and sticks to it more so.
Yeah.
You almost get this like honey kind of sweetness to this one.
Yeah.
It's very, very good.
Yeah. Knowing Billy Walker, I think you're bang on. I think you hit the nail on the head. There's definitely older whiskey in here. This is like almost a 90 for me.
We gotta talk to our boy James and be like, you need to ask Billy Walker how old some of this whiskey is in here, because like I guarantee you there's 15, and I wouldn't be surprised if there's 18-year-old whiskey. And yeah, this is 89 for me, a point higher than this batch for sure. But like, so good. Batch 1 is so good.
The thing is when batch 1 came out, it sat on the shelf forever. Mm-hmm. It wasn't until batch 3 came out that batch 1 and 2 sold out.
Yeah.
Because batch 3 came out this darker.
Yep.
And people are like, oh my god, this must be good.
And this was a time when people were like, dark whiskey, let's get it.
It's the best.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I'm guilty. Yeah. I know I am. I'm no better. I do it all the time. But this is a testament to just like that goes to show you a whiskey that looks like this can be better than a whiskey that looks like this.
100%.
And that's not knocking this by any means, because
No.
that's a great whiskey as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is my initial. I'm always a little bit more excited about a whiskey the first time I try it. Mm-hmm. The second time I try it is like the reality test for me. So for now, I'm gonna stick with my 90, but that'll probably maybe go down a point. Right.
Yeah, and I think we're right there. We're really close on both of these. We prefer batch 1. I mean, what a crazy side by side.
Yeah.
So
still
good.
go out and grab this batch 8 because it's delicious. And okay, we should say, for the price and everything else, it's not like you were getting a bad deal for the batch 6 or 7. You know what I mean?
True.
Like
that's what we said before.
Right.
We did say that before.
Yeah.
You know what? It's like, sure, it's not our favorite batch, but like for $120 or whatever it was, it's still really good whiskey.
Yeah, and I think we did say in those other videos, it's too bad that it's being compared to other Glenalachie.
We had a high standard for
exactly,
it. We had
right?
a really high standard for it, for sure.
Yeah, it's being compared to quality Glenalachies, which exceeded our expectations. So obviously, you put it up against a Glendronach Cask Strength, and it's probably going to smash it.
I don't like Glenallachie Cask Strength.
I don't either.
Has there been a good batch that you've had?
I've never had a good batch.
I can't remember a good batch of that.
No, even like
so hot and like bad.
To Matin Cask Strengths, the Glengoyne
Failed.
Cask Strengths, all like
Failed.
just basic.
Yeah.
Right. So that's why like that batch 6 and 7, destroy those for around the same price. Right. So that's what like, and even like your newer like Abunas, they're not as good as like that batch 6 and batch 7. So take that with a grain of salt, because although we didn't love batch 6 and 7, they're still better than a lot of what's available for the same price.
Agreed.
So
Yep.
yeah, that's it.
Let us know in the comments down below. Glenallachie 10-year-old Cask Strength. What batch is your favorite that you've tried so far? And definitely go out and get this batch 8.
Yeah,
100% get it.
absolutely.
It is worth it. You know, even if you're paying LCBO prices, which are still actually pretty solid,
Yeah,
then definitely worth the price for sure.
this is gonna be great with a cigar.
Ooh,
Nice weather coming.
don't tease me.
I'm telling you.
Do not tease me.
That's a legit thing right
I
there.
agree.
Yeah,
I agree. And thank you so much, James, for giving this batch 1.
the batch 1. Yeah, thank you, James. Thank you all the time. You're the man.
And we should see what the secondary market price is on the batch 1, because I would pay for sure double retail for that.
Yeah, I wouldn't think it's too much, but I don't really know. I haven't been paying attention.
If it's double retail, I'm buying a bottle.
Yeah.
If it's more than that, no.
Yeah.
But if it's double, if I'm gonna pay like $220, I'm in for it.
Yeah.
I'm in for that.
Yeah. That's a
Yeah.
good bottle.
Yeah. Thanks so much for watching. Leave us a comment, like the video, and see you next time.
Cheers, guys.